The elementary general music teacher is tasked with engaging all students with a diverse repertoire of songs while building literacy through solfege and rhythm syllables, moving and dancing, creating and learning to sing through and with instruments. However, the secondary music teacher often starts over again with a particular emphasis on notation to promote literacy for secondary music ensembles. We must lead the way in connecting elementary and secondary music so that every voice is able to sing and play through it. Let us march on till victory is won. I really liked this picture here because it looks like it shows 3 generations singing. She's looking at the music. She's got the music memorized, but it's 3 generations singing together, and I love that picture. We have to start with what is the foundation for a solid elementary music understanding. And of course, it starts with singing in every class. And as Sandy said so brilliantly, singing far and near. A song that I'm going to teach you is a song from Haiti. We had students from Haiti as immigrants from September through December, and then they were moved someplace else. And so I said, well, I'm going to sing a song from Haiti. And it made them feel included because I saw their smiles when we sang a song from Haiti. But the other thing it did is there was a translator for them, and she was from Haiti. So I'm singing the song, and she comes running into the room to sing it with me in the class because she knew the song. It wasn't just notation. It wasn't just a melody. The song had life and meaning to her. One more story related to that. We were on Logan Express on a bus ride going to the airport. And my wife, I tend to be quiet on the bus. My wife talks to the person next to her, and it was a woman from Haiti. And my wife turns to me, who's also a music teacher, and says, Michael, would you sing that song for her? So I started singing the song in Haiti, and she finished it with me because she knew it, right? Here's the song. Actually, before I put the words up, I'm going to see if you can figure out what it means, because I'm going to do sign language. I'll just tell you that means sleep. Do, do, ti, pi, ti, mama. Do, do, ti, pi, ti, papa. Si, li, pa, do, do. Crap, lava, manger. Si, li, pa, do, do. Crab lava manger. What's the song about? Take a guess. It's a lullaby.
When you wake up, you can eat.
Go to sleep. It's a very happy song. Go to sleep for your mother. Go to sleep for your father. If you don't, a crab will eat you. Now, what's not to love about that song? It's such a happy song. So here we go. Singing in every class. Do, do, ti, 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 mama. That's a song. Moving and dancing is part of the elementary music experience, but it really should be embedded in the curriculum. How many of you do folk dance with your students? Yeah? You could teach me a thing or two. My wife says I need to do more. How many of you just do movements when you teach a song? Just movements, like something, right? I do a lot of sign language. I just love sign language because I think when kids do this, it helps them learn the lyrics. The body and the lyric doing the same thing. So I have them do something, and this is what I say. If they're doing nothing but listening to me, they're probably learning nothing. And if they're doing something with their body, they're probably learning the lyrics. So they should always do something. Plus, let's face it, if they're not doing something, they might just be getting into trouble. And we don't want that, do we? We've got to have them do something. And by the way, Dalcroze teaching concepts through movement. Kadai and Fire Robin teaching concepts through singing using a song collection. So there we go. Singing syllables. Will you do this with me? I'm going to use hand signs. So, no? Yeah. So, la, so, fa, mi. You sing that back to me?
So, fa, mi.
So, la, so, fa, mi. Fa, fa, mi. Re, so.
Re, so.
Fa, mi.
Mi.
Re, so, mi, re, do.
Re, so, mi, re, do.
What's more important, the solfege or the song? Song. The song, Sandy said this the other day when we were talking. I think we talked an hour and a half when I was driving up here. She said, songs are like the flowers that spring up from a culture. Songs, poems, the songs have life. They're not just melodies we learn to read on our instruments or just melodies. They're the life of the culture. I like to say we add solfege to singing a song. The next thing is singing through an instrument. Was anyone at my recorder session this morning? This didn't make it into my book. My kids in 4th grade could play that without me even putting the notation up. But I would do it just like that. I had them doing so, fa, mi. I would play that. I would have them sing. Now you sing and finger that, I would say to them. And then they'd sing and finger. They can play a song without even the notation. And then I would probably add the notation, say, now that's what it looks like. So much to build on. We'll talk more about that. The last part, so again, I write down the connecting, playing an instrument to all of the above. An instrument, you sing through an instrument rather than you play notes on an instrument that turns into a song. The song comes first. And the last part is creating music. Creating, Dr. Sandra Nicolucci was on the group of people who wrote the state standards and the national standards. Creating is one of our 4 processes. Creating, performing, responding, and connecting. I'm not going to talk about performing because we're great at that. I'm not even going to talk about responding, even though I don't think we're great at it. To take the time to respond to a song. But creating, I am going to take a minute on. Because creating should happen so spontaneously. I'm going to just play an example for you if my YouTube works. I had a student, I'll sit at the piano and I'll teach them, so this was G pentatonic that they played on the recorder. And I just said to the whole class, I'm just sitting and I'm comping some chords, just 1, 6, 4, 5 chord progression. And they have to play along with it. And I asked one boy to stick around for a minute, and this is what he did. And these two kids are just, the boy on the, playing the djembe, I just showed him that djembe beat at that moment. I said, all right, so here we go. I just showed a little rock beat, and of course he ate it up, and it just added another dimension. But Luca right there is just playing the G pentatonic scale. Now when it came time to play G pentatonic songs that were written, there's a hole in the bucket, Ariran, I've Got Peace Like a River, all those are pentatonic songs. And now, because they've experimented with the notes and found the notes on their own, now they can play. Creating it takes what we know and solidifies it. Because we use what we know and then we let kids make it their own. Now I want to talk about the handoff. I've talked about elementary music education, what I think goes into a good elementary music foundation. But let's talk about the handoff from elementary to secondary. And I'd like to just have you just imagine something. Imagine that your job was to build the Millennium Falcon on a Lego set. 7,541 pieces. No, it's no problem because you're a skilled builder. You've got directions. Oh, by the way, 100 to 200 times. Not just once, 100 to 200 Millennium Falcons. You're a skilled builder, you've got the directions, you get started. Now, amount of time has passed, maybe months, maybe years, and someone comes along and takes all 100 or 200 of them and brings them to someone else to finish. But there's a problem. They don't get the directions. They get the half-completed Millennium Falcons, they get the parts, and they start to build. After all, they're skilled builders, they can do it. Now the two never communicated, the two builders, and the second one doesn't have the directions, but there wasn't enough professional development time. And by the way, they both knew what to do, so the second builder starts building. The second builder has a 50% success rate. And everyone thinks it's amazing because these half of the Millennium Falcons are done and they're beautiful. They even take them out to state Lego festivals and they win awards. And everyone says, this is amazing. 50% are done and they're beautiful. What a skilled builder. But what about the other 50%? That's what I want to talk about in the handoff. The disconnect between secondary music education, this is where the other 50% land. They just fall off, and I'm going to talk about why. We do not build on what students know. They know a song collection, they have a song collection, they know solfege, they know rhythm syllables, they've got this down and they've got it. Now I want to talk about my middle school band director, who is here. It's our first year. Liz, can you stand up? She's waving. This young woman is brilliant. She looks younger than she is. She's taught for about how many years?
Year 14.
So this is what Liz did. She was told as a first year teacher in Bourne that she could watch any teacher she wanted. Now in most cases, a middle school band director would go up and watch the high school band director. But she came down, I teach grade 3 through 5, she came down and spent a day with me. And I was doing compound meter, songs with compound meter, with my 3rd and 4th grader, with different levels of complexity. So I use the Gordon rhythm syllables. It doesn't matter which rhythm syllables you use. I use them, and I was doing do-da-dee-do-da-dee-do with 3rd grade. 4th grade was doing do-dee-do-dee-do-da-dee-do. And I looked at Liz, and I looked at the class and I said, Liz, I said, Miss McKenzie, don't let them tell you they've never heard of compound meter. And this is what she said. Oh, I'm not worried about that. All I have to say is, do-da-dee, do-da-dee-do. And then they'll know 1 and a 2 and a 1. She made the transfer. She's not forcing them to make the transfer. She did it. She gets it. When they come in with solfege syllables, she says, oh yeah. Now they do know their note names too, in addition to solfege syllables, but she helps them make the gap. She knows what they know and she builds on that. We stop singing and playing songs. We are so focused on our literature in band and chorus and orchestra, and we should be, because it's brilliant. And kids have to be literate to play it. So we need a lot of time so that the third clarinet player can play their part. But someone isn't necessarily going to play the third clarinet part 20 years later. But if they have a collection of 50 to 100 songs that they know, they'll sing those 20 to 30 years later. What if we spent 5 minutes in every rehearsal teaching 2 or 3 additional songs a week, and we developed a song collection from around the world in our secondary ensembles in addition to the literature? It wouldn't take long. And what if we spent time creating in our rehearsals instead of just spending time focusing on the literature for the next concert or the festival? And I'm not saying either or, I'm saying both. 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Kids might practice more at home too. Song collection. I don't know if anyone's seen this quote before, but by Robert Fletcher, let me make the songs of a nation, and I care not who makes its laws. Songs are the lifeblood of the culture. And that's why Sandy's so concerned that we're losing our song heritage. We do not include all students. So I talked about the inclusive nature of the elementary classroom. How I'm going to do a song from Haiti because I've got students from Haiti in my classroom. I want every student to feel included, therefore I have to do the music of all ethnicities. I just wrote a piece, I'm a composer and a songwriter. I wrote a piece for Falmouth Academy, and I took 3 African songs, and I weaved them into a composition. Because I think the band world needs to have a more diverse repertoire. Yes, we've got beautiful literature, but we need to diversify the repertoire middle school and high school to include literature from around the world, songs from around the world, so that all students feel included. How many students stop playing in band? Chorus is way better than band. How many students stop playing in band because they don't feel as though their mariachi heritage is included, or their African heritage is included, or their Asian heritage is included? Everyone should be included. And wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have kids falling off the cliff because they didn't feel included? Two ways people aren't included. Number 1, we don't represent all cultures. Number 2, we don't make notation feels like a foreign language. It feels like something new rather than an extension of what they know. Do-da-dee-do-da-dee-do is compound meter for 1 and a 2 and a 1. Because she knows that, no student will be left behind, because she's going to take what they know and build on it.
Begin sitting in an upright position.
I'd love to begin sitting in upright position. We do not create in our ensembles. I've already addressed that. The big lie. Teach music literacy and everything else will fall into place. It won't fall into place. It's not falling into place. Literacy is vital. I am so glad I'm a literate musician. I can play anything. I can sing anything. I sing in a choir at church. I can sight read anything because I learned it as a music teacher, but even before I went to college, music teachers taught me. But they won't get everything unless we deliberately teach them everything. Connecting is the next strand, and Sandy fought to have it included. She fought to have connecting included at the national level. And it's become the most important thing to me. Connecting to what students already know. Connecting to our own culture's song heritage. Connecting to the music of the world. We have to connect. This is my band method. I just wrote a band method. The second edition's coming out this spring. And this is what I changed on it. It's got, by the way, it's got 50 songs in it from around the world. And so this is what my students play. It's available at JW Pepper if anyone wants to look it up. But this is what my students play. 50 songs from around the world. They've already played them on recorder, most of them, not all of them. They've already played them on recorder. Now they're going to play them on band. And it's about the songs, and my kids learned 50 songs in a year. But here is a part that I changed in January. Connecting the first year band with general music. You get that because I talked about that. The school community and the world. Our band methods today haven't been changed for 50 years. They're good, but they don't connect. This is a connection to, though. This is a step in between. Our band methods today use very tired old folk songs. And lesson 1, this is a whole note. Play a whole note. Now rest for 4. Now play it again. And by the way, we'll have Superman playing in the background while you play that. You can get that through one of the company's software. How much better to play a song? You cannot swim for new horizons until you have courage to lose sight of the shore. It's so hard because you start someone on an instrument in 5th grade, just the method book tells you to play a whole note. It's how I was taught, and they haven't changed. You have to, it's the research by Kadai, Feyerabend, Orff, Gordon, and I'm sure I'm leaving some out, Dalcroze. It's the research that has changed elementary music education, that it's time for that research, that inclusive nature of the elementary classroom that reaches all kids. It's time for that to spread to secondary music. And it starts with us as influencers, but you have to lose sight of the shore and you have to look. But it's worth it to reach 100%. And I think as we do that, and I say as we do that, when we start to do that, because it's inevitable that it will happen, when we start to do that, there'll be a renaissance in music education. And I like to use the word renaissance. I think it'll be a rebirth. I think kids will sing and play instruments and play songs, and America will start singing again, and I think that's what's going to happen. But we have to make that connection from elementary inclusivity to secondary. So I'll leave it there with burning fire, that let us be the burning fire, that we are the influencers that are going to change. It will change with or without us. It will change faster with us. And why not us be the people who change the future and make music education for all students at all grade levels, because we chose to connect the curriculum from 1 grade, and we chose to spiral the curriculum. Sometimes we don't even know what that means. But it mostly means, even if you don't have time for curriculum development, it mostly means that like Liz and I, Liz came and talked to me to see, it mostly means that we're just talking to each other. It mostly means we're using the same set of directions when we build a Lego set. That we are communicating and our kids are better for it.